when it comes to EVs. Randy, from your perspective, Ioniq 6, lots of comparison out there to the Tesla Model 3. What do you make of that?
Tesla who?
Tesla is losing its EV dominance. Ford, General Motors, and Nissan are gunning for Tesla. Here's why Elon Musk should be worried. Oh boy, here we go. Tesla should be looking over its shoulder at the fully charged EVs barreling right toward its castle. While Tesla still has a stronghold on the EV market based on name recognition, market share, and production capabilities, so basically everything that makes any business good and that everyone else seems to be lacking, the clear takeaway from this year's New York International Auto Show, which Tesla was not a part of, is that traditional automakers such as Ford, General Motors, and Nissan are all gunning for Tesla's dominance and lucrative profit margins. Does anybody actually still go to this auto show in person? People still doing things in person? Last I checked, Tesla put out a video of the Cybertruck on Twitter. It had about 70 million views. Do you think 70 million people were in attendance at this auto show? I don't know. Hyundai aims to lead the EV pack. As you saw in the opening clip, Tesla who? Joked the Hyundai CEO, Randy Parker. Oh man, what a funny guy. He almost was grimacing through the pain that laughter was trying to hide. The impressive specs and pricing of Hyundai's Ioniq 6 places it in direct competition with Tesla's Model 3, the second most popular EV in the US. Ioniq 6 starts at $41,600 with a range of up to 240 miles, while the Model 3 starts at $41,990 and has a range of 272 miles, so 32 miles more. Now, depending on which model you look at, they're claiming here that they get up to 361 miles with the long-range versions. But again, I'm not really sure how many of these have sold. They just started selling them last month. So when they're selling 400,000 of them, then we can talk and compare because, as we know, prototypes are easy, mass production is hard. The Ioniq 6, from a technology standpoint, you can't do better, Parker crowed. Is that true? We'll look at a video in a second. They showed us the sophisticated technology of the Ioniq 6, which I don't even think has any full self-driving capability. But that's probably nothing. I mean, I don't think that will be anything in the future. You know, cars driving themselves, nah. What's next for Tesla? Tesla's Cybertruck isn't even on the market yet. As if they need it, because they're as if they're not selling every vehicle that they make every day already. The company is reportedly working on a compact EV dubbed the Model 2, but it's unclear when that will arrive. For the sake of every other automaker, they better hope that it never comes out, because that will really be checkmate, because they're still not competing on a mass volume scale with the Model 3 and Y. Just wait till the Model 2 comes out. Oh boy, is it going to get ugly for a legacy. And more EV models, not from Tesla, are coming and fast. S&P Global estimates the EV market will grow from just over 50 models today to 78 by year end, before more than doubling to 160 by the end of 2025. Wow, so we'll have 160 models that are slight variations from each other, all of which will be completely lacking full self-driving. Okay, I guess people still haven't learned that maybe Tesla's onto something. We're following this Apple-esque iPhone approach where maybe we don't need to produce 30 different models because it wastes time. They're so similar. What really sets them apart? Maybe we could just do 4, 6, maybe 8 models when we really throw in Cybertrucks and semis and the different classes of cars. But I think the days of making 20, 30 different models that, again, are just like slight variations, different trims, sunroofs, and other useless nonsense, I think those days are behind us. And it doesn't seem that everyone else has woken up to that fact yet. Again, the more models you have, the harder it is going to be to scale, right? Tesla has an easier time scaling because they're only producing in some of these factories 2 cars, maybe 4 at most. You're trying to produce 30 cars. I mean, that's going to require a lot of space, a lot of factories, a lot of different moving parts, and very complex supply chains. S&P Global Mobility's Tom Libby told Yahoo Finance in a chat that competitive pressure is pushing OEMs to move quickly and that Tesla's market share will keep declining as a result. Yeah, their market share will probably keep declining as a result, but it currently sits at 54%. And realistically, all they need is 20%. They could lose another 30% and still hit their goals of 20 million cars a year by 2030. The inroads into Tesla's dominance are already being felt without question. Without question. It's really interesting because everywhere I look, I'm just seeing more and more Teslas. I don't know about you guys. I don't know where you guys are living, but please let us know in the comments below where you are if you want to and how many Teslas you're seeing, because all I see is Tesla, Tesla, Tesla all over the place. I I can count on one hand how many EVs from other companies that I've seen. General Motors sold more than 20,000 EVs for the first time in a quarter. Good for them. Tesla just sold 422,000. Fueled by demand for its cheaper Chevy Bolt EV, which accounted for 95% of the auto giant's EV sales. 95% of the sales are coming from the Chevy Bolt. This is Tesla's alleged competition. According to GM, Bolt sales are expected to soar to reach 70,000 by the end of this year. So they'll sell 70,000 this year of the Bolt. Okay, that's fine. Tesla's still selling 420. That may not sound too impressive when you compare it to Tesla's record first quarter delivery numbers, which totaled 422,875 globally. But data compiled by S&P Global Mobility shows Tesla's competitors are gaining ground. Does this graph look like a graph of competitors gaining ground to you? Because what this looks like to me is Tesla purely dominating and everybody else fighting for scraps. They're all in the rat race at the bottom there. GM, Ford, Volkswagen, Hyundai, all kind of neck and neck. And again, like I said, their sales could drop all the way down to 20% and they still do just fine. But these other companies are yet to prove that they can really even ramp into that same league as Tesla. Again, ramping is what's hard. That will really test these companies. And they have the added disadvantage that every EV they sell is going to cannibalize their profitable, lucrative ICE vehicle segments. Their bread and butter, where they make all their money. Every EV GM and Ford sells is one less gas car that actually makes them money. They still haven't figured out how to make a profit selling electric vehicles. I don't like their odds. Okay, I mean, there's a clear winner on this chart to me when you look at the full picture. Tesla's US EV share subsequently fell from nearly 3/4 of the market in January 2022 to just over half in January 2023. Within that same time frame, GM EV market share grew from 0.1%, astounding. You led, GM, you led, Mary Barra, way to go. 0.1% of the market, woo, to 9.9%, and Ford's foothold grew to 8.4%. Yes, Tesla's share of the market is going to decline. We realize that. The pressure on Tesla is one of the factors forcing the car maker to slash prices again. Tesla marked down its vehicles for the 5th time this year, its latest effort to boost demand and regain lost market share. This is up for debate. There's a lot of back and forth going on out there. But, Elon said on the last call that if they had to choose between profitably selling less cars or selling more cars at a lower margin, they're going to go with the latter. They're going to sell as many cars as they can, which makes a lot of sense. They want to grab as much of this market as they can while they have the lead, because they also have the added benefit, a little known thing called full self-driving, which is a $15,000 add-on that they could turn on at any point, that people can buy at any point that they would like. So basically, Tesla could, if they wanted to, sell all these cars at cost and make all their money from that $15,000 full self-driving package or the monthly subscription, which I believe is $200 a month. Can the other companies say that? They can't sell them at cost. They can't even sell them at a profit. They still haven't figured out how to make EVs at a profit. In this EV arms race, Tesla needs to defend their turf and customer base with price cuts. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives wrote, "Everyone is trying to catch up. Tesla cutting prices were the near-term pain for long-term gain. A strategic poker move." Exactly. At least Dan Ives gets it. Again, they have great margins. They could keep cutting down those margins and still be making a profit. As long as they're making a profit and they have all these other products in the pipe and the full self-driving that they could kind of just get revenue from at any moment that they please, later down the line, their margins are so high. They have so much more room if they really wanted to keep dropping them. And that's really going to hurt the competitors. RBC analyst Tom Narayan also thinks lower prices could help Tesla's demand issue, telling Yahoo Finance Live that lower prices are a great way to really steal market share. That is very true. Again, what happens when, the Model 3, all right, the Hyundai Ioniq 6, maybe it's on a price parity with the Model 3. What happens when they cut the Model 3 price a little bit more? What are people going to buy? Tesla's shares are still down more than 40% in the past 12 months. Yes, they are. And if we look at Apple's 20-year history, it had multiple drops of 70% or more. I think at one point it dropped even 90%. None of this matters, right? Obviously, Tesla just had their best last 12-month period in the company's history, but this is all dictated by the macro in the short term. But by 2030, I think that stock price will be reflecting reality. We'll have to see.
Those buyers out there who are a little bit hesitant right now to purchase their first EV.
Well, a great stepping stone for EV would be to take a look at a hybrid. because I know a lot of people are very concerned about range. A good stepping stone would be to get into a hybrid vehicle and then slowly transition into to an EV. The second thing I would say in terms of adoption is that in the United States, we've got to improve the infrastructure. I myself drive an electric car. I've got a level 2 charger in my garage, and I got to tell you, I don't think I'll ever go back to driving a internal combustion engine vehicle. But I know for some people it's a little bit of a concern because of range anxiety. But once you step into an EV, I don't think you'll ever go back.
All right, there are a few things I think were wrong here. First of all, my guy, Randy Parker, a lot of glaring contradictions he just made. He said he loves his EV so much he would never go back to an ICE car, yet he's recommending other people use hybrid cars as a stepping stone when a hybrid car is really just a gas car with a teeny tiny little battery, still the same. It's actually more expensive than an EV. Makes zero sense, all right? That makes no sense. It's almost like he's fibbing a little bit here. Then he's saying we're lacking the infrastructure. Hyundai might be lacking the infrastructure, but last I checked, Tesla has the supercharger map laid out, thousands, tens and tens of thousands of superchargers. Anywhere you go in the US, you're good. You've got Tesla superchargers. You know who's going to need to use Tesla's infrastructure, their charging infrastructure? Hyundai, Ford, GM. So Randy loves his EV, will never go back to ICE, yet recommends others maybe get a hybrid first.
Very
We
well
got the
then.
sunroof.
All right, Randy, so tell me just all about the bells and whistles, because when it comes to these new electric vehicles, everyone's so excited about what's on the screen and what you can do with it.
Well, the first things first. I mean, you saw the how beautiful the car is, right?
Yes.
I mean, the silhouette, the streamliner design.
Very
The car is
futuristic.
absolutely gorgeous, right? There you
The
go.
360 view. We can see
360
our
view of the car,
producers in
right?
the background here,
Yeah.
but certainly you really get, because I think you can, you drag your finger, here we go, maybe that.
Yeah, you can spin it around.
There we
you
go, and spin it around. That's really incredible.
Tell me that's not pretty cool, right?
Wow, look at this video. Do you see that? They're sliding the car. Oh my God, it's got 360 view. 360 view. This is the technological prowess that they are bragging about. Nothing about full self-driving software, but oh, this little screen, it's got a little spinny thing. Oh, that's so cool. 360 view. Oh my God. Oh man, I'm feeling pretty good about my Tesla investment these days as a long-term investor. Again, short-term, anything can happen here. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next few months. By 2030, I like the chances Tesla has. I like the probability that they become the largest company in the world. That's why we're here. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. You can also check out my investment newsletter over on Substack. It is free, and I will link that down below as well. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you next one.